Hello, Runescape Stats here. Today I'm going to show you one of the best ways to train magic with high experience per hour and minimal loss. This method is great because it can be done by pures and people as low as level 55 magic. However, to get the 120k experience an hour, 75 magic is required. The first thing you need to do is go on the Grand Exchange, buy nature runes and something to alch. Now, don't just buy the first thing you think of because you will be taking a higher loss. I would recommend looking around different pieces of metal armor such as Myth Kite, Addy Helm, Rune Dagger, things like that, and finding something that has a relatively wide gap between alch value and GE value. You're also going to want to put on your best magic gear and bring runes for the best offensive magic spell you can use. For me, that is Fire Wave. Next, you're going to want to make your way to Brimhaven. Please don't forget your axe or your anti-fire potions. So this method's going to be very similar to splash alching if you've ever done that before, but the big difference is that instead of splashing on spiders in the lumbered cellar basement, you're actually going to be fighting iron and steel dragons with Fire Wave. I like this method a lot better because instead of throwing away 240 GP for 40 experience and a splash, you're actually going to be killing these iron and steel dragons, getting their drops, plus getting more experience because you're actually doing damage with the spell. If you're not familiar with splash alching, basically what you want to do is attack the iron or steel dragon with Fire Wave, and as soon as you see the XP drop from the Fire Wave cast, you're going to want to go ahead and click on your alch. Make sure you have auto retaliate on because that will allow for a smooth transition between alching and casting your attack spell. The downside to this method is that it is very click intensive. There's really no way around that. You can't AFK this. But on a plus side, it can be done by pures. It's really fast experience and it can be done for very minimal loss. So for me, I did kind of alternate between iron and steel dragons. If you kill iron dragons, you'll fill up on bones a lot faster, assuming you're not burying them. And if you kill steels, it will require more runes to finish a trip. So it took me about 45 minutes to get through a trip of this with 85 magic and using Fire Wave. This also is a pretty good source of hard and even elite clues, which would not be very helpful to me since I am a pure and I'm not likely to be able to do those. But if you are a main account with better stats, you could benefit greatly from having a clue. While I did not get a clue, I did get another interesting drop right here. No, not a Visage, I wish, but I did get this pair of dragon legs, which is still a nice 180k, I'll take it. As far as picking an item to alch, I would strongly recommend using all of your Grand Exchange spots and just picking a number, say 200 or 250 GP below alch value and just putting up a bunch of offers on all different kinds of items. That's how I was able to find Myth Kites. I have a 210 GP difference between buying and alching, which is still a slight loss, but it's a lot better than just if you pick the first thing you think of. If you leave 6 offers up overnight on just different items, odds are you'll find one of them that'll work out for you. Okay, so as I'm finishing up here, I managed to use about 750 of my nature runes in about 45 minutes, which really puts you on pace to get through 1,000 nature runes in an hour if you manage to make your trip last that long. Okay, looking at where I was when I started this trip, I started with 3,429,000 magic experience and finished with 3,518,000 magic experience. That gives me 89,000 experience in 43 minutes, which would be 124,000 experience in 1 hour. So I'm going to look at the final numbers of what I used on this trip. 638 blood runes, 763 nature runes, and 756 myth kite shields. So adding everything up, I wound up with a profit of 27,000 coins for that trip. However, if you were to omit the D-legs drop, since that is pretty rare, I would have had a net loss of 162k, which is still only 1.8 GP per experience. Well, if you made it this far in the video, I hope you were able to find it helpful, and if you did, please tap that like button and leave a comment to let me know what you think. Alright, thank you for watching.